Today, the phone company is nickel and diming you. But tomorrow, you could be saving a fortune. Save on your home phone bill with Xfinity Voice from Comcast. Plus, text from your home number and save on your wireless bill. Switch to Xfinity Voice with unlimited talk and text for $19.99 a month for 6 months. Or step up to an Xfinity Triple Play and save even more. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
1 hour complete in this second and final NASCAR Sprint Cup Series practice here at Watkins Glen International. Let's take a closer look at today's action, brought to you by the Sprint Family Plan. A.J. Allmendinger busted off the fastest lap of the day, 68.538 seconds, 128.688 miles per hour. Draft off your family and save with the Sprint Family Plan. We're up to 10 friends, and family can get unlimited talk, text, and 1 gig of data for as low as $25 per month, each while on the Sprint network. Visit sprint.com/speed or a Sprint store to start your family today.
Now that lap time would be a new track record here.
By 2.5 tenths.
Yeah.
So I do believe the track record will go down, and if it does, it will be our 16th new track record of 2014.
Another one of those drivers that we talk about needing a win here desperately. Casey Kane just jumped up to 4th on the board. Has a fast Farmers Insurance Chevrolet, looks like.
Well, we're getting that point of the practice that if you're going to make a mock qualifying run, you're going to have to start doing it here pretty quick, because we're less than 30 minutes to go in what will be the final practice session. Nothing but knockout qualifying tomorrow. Pretty impressed with little Nelson Piquet Jr. here, making his very first Sprint Cup Series start, and he's 20th quickest in this practice session. It almost looks like every time he goes out and makes a run that he's a little bit quicker than the pass run.
Marcus Ambrose in the 9 car just jumped up to the 2nd spot as we watch Piquet.
Within 3/1000ths of a second of what A.J. Allmendinger ran. We talk about the 9 and the 47 being contenders here when we started out the day, and they haven't disappointed.
Yeah, our top 3 drivers right now, it's 3 drivers that tested up here about a week and a half ago. Marcus is one of the drivers doing double duty. He'll be running in the Nationwide Series race tomorrow, so he's had plenty of track time today between the 2 series.
2-time champion in the V8 Supercar Series in Australia. All they race over there are road course races.
You know, David Gilliland here, right now, he's been making some practice qualifying runs. He's 10th quickest, but we talk about Marcus Ambrose. 2 of Marcus's top 5 finishes came with Frank Kerr. That's his David Gilliland's crew chief.
Let's go to Bob Dillner.
And Steve, this sport is about the Davids versus the Goliaths, and certainly Front Row Motorsports with their team, the Davids, with David Gilliland and David Reagan going up against the Hendrick Motorsports, the Penske's, and so forth. But so far, so good. Top 10 in this practice session. That was 1 mock qualifying run, and that's all they've done. They've gone back to race mode because they believe that this is a wild card type event, much like a Daytona or a Talladega would be. And David believes this team has a shot at getting to victory lane here on Sunday. And by the way, guys, that top 10 speed so far, that was with passing a car in the chicane. So a very fast race car for David Gilliland.
Well, it's not Sonoma, but he did have a 2nd place finish at Sonoma back in 2008.
Impressive lap by Gilliland. And we said 5 races left to get into the postseason. There are the winless drivers and the positions they are relative to the final spot. It's going to be wild here on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
You never know what might be out there. The ambulance racing by you. The ambulance chaser chasing the ambulance. A rollerblader with headphones who's oblivious to everything. The cab driver who's checking out the rollerblader. It's 360 degrees of chaos out there, with driver assist technology, including a blind spot system and a rear view camera, the Ford Fusion will help tell you when it's coming.
Mothers redefines interior care with 2 unique, innovative products. Leather Wash, an air-infused, rich lather foaming solution that penetrates and deep cleans and is safe on the most precious leather. Our Moisture Infusion Leather Cream, with advanced multi-layer hydration and anti-aging properties, prevents cracking, drying, and fading for the places where you and your car connect. Leather Wash and Leather Cream from Mothers.
Refreshment calls, Coors Light answers.
Anybody else?
Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Looking good, Flo.
Feeling good. Feeling real good.
Boat protection people love. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Today, one movie is so intense, you'll need to bring someone to hold on to.
Don't let go!
I got you!
I love you so much.
Into the Storm, rated PG-13.
Tomorrow, MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns with a doubleheader as Derek Jeter and the Yankees will be in the Bronx to face the Indians in a game you can only see here on Fox Sports 1. And then Matt Holliday and the new-look Cardinals take on the AL East leading Orioles. Coverage begins tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. No comment about the Orioles, Steve?
A 5-game lead, I might add. 5-game lead, Phil. Well, from one disappointed Tigers fan to another, Matt Yoakum.
Well, Steve, I just felt the lack of excitement in Phil's voice when he got to the Cleveland and Yankees portion of that promo.
Yes.
But your teammate, Brad Keselowski, they're very pleased with where they're standing right now near the end of this practice. They're going to swap over to qualifying setup. That's what you're doing now. How close are you two as far as setup?
There's some similarities, there's some differences, just like every week. He should be happy where he's at. He's really, really fast. So we're definitely looking at what they're doing there. And we just had a hard time tightening up the Shell Penzo Ford. I've been sliding around back and forth each and every direction. Just that's not really a lot of fun when you're doing that around here. But so we're going to kind of reset here, go to qualifying trim, kind of go over our notes for Sunday's race and just make sure we make the right choices by then. So we got a lot of notes to go off of and just kind of figure out what we want to be. And like I said, the 2 cars really fast too, so we can kind of lean on them a little bit.
Top 10s here in Sprint Cup. You finished second in the nationwide car here. You're a young guy, but when you look at all the history and the famous names, Jim Clark, Graham Hill in the 60s, Lauda and Hunt in the 70s and on up. To win here, how special would that be for you and for that check mark on your racing resume?
It'd be awesome, man. Any road course win means a lot. And then when you're up here in Watkins Glen, yeah, I'm from the Northeast, so this is like kind of a home type racetrack for me. So it's always a lot of fun to come up here. It's such a beautiful area, but you know, to win a road course means so much. You only get a couple shots at it a year, so your chances of winning them aren't as great as others because you don't run it every week. But you know, it's fun because I remember the first time I came here, I was absolutely terrible. I didn't know what I was doing. I was lost, literally lost. I didn't know what corner was coming up next, and yeah, now I'm getting better and better, and my cars are also, getting better and better also. So hopefully it all comes together in the right strategy, and we're fast enough to win this thing.
All right, well, hydrate up and have fun on your mock qualifying run.
Thanks, Matt. Josh Wise in the number 98.
You know, one thing I've been impressed with Josh this year, and as you can see, blank quarter panels on this 98 car here, but of his 20 starts, yeah, he's got that best finish of 20th at Talladega. but he has been running at the end of all but one of his 20 races. So that makes a big statement that Josh Wise takes care of his equipment on the racetrack.
Just completed his 16th lap in this second practice.
Talking to Josh earlier, and he basically hasn't really ever raced here. He started and parked a Nationwide car here one time, I think, and he started and parked a Cup car here one time. So said this will be the first opportunity to actually race here at Watkins Glen.
A.J. Allmendinger still the fastest. There's Kyle Busch in the garage. He is third quick overall. Stay with us.
Next Saturday, a fighter with serious knockout power.
And it's over. Wow! Just like that.
A rising star with explosive speed.
Oh, big shots by St. Preux. What a fight!
UFC Fight Night, next Saturday on Fox Sports 1.
Our apps may be endless, but the offer ends soon. It's just $10. So now's the time to come in, while your choice of our best wings, skins, sticks, and more are still endless. Only at Fridays.
Go time!
Unlimit your fitness potential with the new Samsung Galaxy S5 Sport. Switch to Sprint's unlimited family plan and get $150 back. Happy connecting.
Drive! You were talking, Turtle.
Like shadows in the night.
Hold on!
If I don't return, you can always find me in here.
Don't be an idiot.
Ninja Turtles, rated PG-13. Why see one home run when you can see them all? MLB Whip Around, tonight at midnight, only on Fox Sports 1.
You never know what might be out there. The ambulance racing by you. The ambulance chaser chasing the ambulance. A rollerblader with headphones who's oblivious to everything. The cab driver who's checking out the rollerblader. It's 360 degrees of chaos out there. With driver assist technology, including a blind spot system and a rear view camera, the Ford Fusion will help tell you when it's coming.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know Pinocchio was a bad motivational speaker?
I look around this room and I see nothing but untapped potential. You have potential. You have... Oh, boy.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Coming up next, it's America's pregame. Mike Hill and Molly McGrath talk about everything from baseball to NFL training camps. Charles Barkley will join them to talk about the Kevin Love deal to the Cavaliers. And we will make an appearance as well.
I was going to say, they're going to talk to Steve Burns, Phil Parsons, and Larry McReynolds earlier in their show.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Might talk about a little golf, too. A little bit of a big weekend for the tour.
PGA Championship.
I think that Rory McIlroy may make it.
I think he might make it in this sport.
I think he's got a future.
There may be a shot.
Kevin Harvick's been fast all day. Bob Dillner has an update.
He's been fast, but don't look for speed out of this run for Kevin Harvick. They like their race car. They know it's balanced. So what this run is all about is fuel mileage. They are testing the waters just in case it comes down to fuel mileage. And remember, with a couple of victories already this year, this team doesn't have to worry about getting into the chase. All they have to worry about is getting more wins for those extra bonus points in the first round. So a little fuel mileage run for the Ford team and Kevin Harvick.
But you know, it's interesting you bring that up, Bob. This is final practice, so these crew chiefs, the engineers, they have to be figuring now on fuel mileage. I was talking to Booty Barker, Casey Mears' crew chief, and the ultimate goal would be able to go 30 laps. That way you can run 30, 30, and 30. But I think a lot of these teams, you really get reluctant to pull any power out of it because this is such a fast road course. Of course, if you pull some power out, you do help the fuel mileage. So I think that's a little bit of what may be going on that these teams and drivers are playing with.
That left front tire jumps off the ground there for a moment.
Yeah, most teams that are going to try to do it on 30, 30, and 30 are banking on some cautions to help them.
Watch that left front lift up right here.
Wow.
Jumps completely up off the racetrack.
And he's going through the inner loop by himself.
Yeah.
Think about the start of this race on Sunday when 43 of them are trying to go through there together.
They all want that same piece of real estate.
I think Kevin Harvick's pretty happy with that Budweiser Chevy.
Yeah, he's been good in race trim. He's been good in qualifying trim.
Allmendinger has the fastest lap of this session, fastest lap of the day, we should say. It's Allmendinger, Marcus Ambrose, Kyle Busch, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Aric Almirola.
You know, just real quick back to Kevin Harvick, they've run more laps than anyone else here. They've run 32 laps in this one practice session alone.
Why do you think, Larry?
Well, I think they made their mock qualifying run in that first practice, and they have totally focused on everything about the race in this second practice, including fuel mileage that Bob Dillner talked about.
Nelson Piquet Jr. Whoa!
A little bit too much rear brake, it looked like there, didn't it, Larry? That thing jumped sideways as he got hard down on the brakes to get down to turn number 1.
Yeah, the more he got on the brake, the looser it got.
How fast are you going head towards turn 1, Phil?
170 miles an hour.
Wow.
And you get down, that's the slowest corner on the racetrack. You get down to right at 80 miles an hour.
We were getting a little bit of a report from some of our people around the track that his car really was not sounding exactly right either. So he's going to bring it back in. We only have about 13 minutes to go. Only about a little over 7.5 minutes to go in this practice session.
Take a listen.
He's off the pace for sure.
Yeah.
Headed back towards the garage here, I would think. Not sure why he stopped over there, though.
Corporate Larry Mack's people on it.
My people.
Get your people on it. We'll be right back.
How awesome is Saturday? You got no work today or tomorrow. Saturday can't get any better, right? Right. Wrong. Sorry. Didn't mean it like that. It's just now the only work you got to do on Saturday is watch Fox Sports 1. Trout's working. So is Puig. CC actually has the day off, but that's cool. You got any fives? Poppy, you working? Yeah, Poppy's smoking.
If you're disabled and unable to work, pay attention to the following message.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be entitled to disability benefits through Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right if you suffer from a physical or mental disability. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. You'll be matched up with an advocate who will evaluate your situation, handle your application, deal with Social Security for you, and handle all appeals. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. To get started, call the number on your screen now. And keep in mind, there are a vast number of conditions that make you eligible for disability benefits and dozens of additions that you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call the Citizens Disability Helpline today for a free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 1-800-452-9057. Call now.
Oh, that's my lawn service. Can I sign you up?
What if you had to buy everything the way you buy a used car?
Well, I do have a few questions first.
Oh, shoot.
How much is the twice-weekly rice and feeding service?
I'm sorry, I missed that whole thing.
At Planet Pre-Owned in Music, you can buy a used car like anything else. No haggling, no games, just our best price right up front.
I need to collect a deposit.
Visit Planet Pre-Owned in Music.
On these tracks, road racing's best make history. Tour de United Sports Car Championship from Road America, Sunday, 6:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1.
Closing minutes minutes of this final NASCAR Sprint Cup Series practice on the 2.45 Watkins Glen International Road Course. Casey Mears has had a pretty good day. He is 11th quick right now, completing his 8th lap of practice.
You know, I think that's a situation where he's really getting some information from the 47 car, all part of the RCR Technical Alliance. So the 47's information is available to the 13 and vice versa. So obviously they had a great test here with a 47 car a couple weeks ago, and the 13 of Casey Mears is being able to reap the benefits.
Yeah, he finished 12th here a year ago, and that was after a bad qualifying effort. He had problems in the inner loop, qualified 30th, and then he backed it up by finishing 13th out at Sonoma in June.
Coming off a good run last week at Pocono as well, where he finished 12th. Let's go back to Matt.
Well, Steve, I saw the King, Richard Petty, walk into the garage. He looked pleased. So does this young man, Aric Almirola. He's top 5 in this practice session. So 2 questions. Number 1 about the car. You were trying to work on the balance in the first session, and you had a concern about the transmission. You're in this session 5th, so you've worked everything out?
Yeah, we have. Our Smithfield Ford Fusion's really good. We've messed around with some things based on what we learned at the test here last week in the first session, and we found a direction we wanted to go to. And the second practice we were a lot better, and we changed transmissions. The first practice we had a transmission that we didn't test with, and I was just out of my comfort zone, and it just didn't feel right. So we got all that switched around, and the car's really fast, and I'm certainly batting above my weight. I'm the furthest thing from a road racer, so to be in the top 5 right now is pretty good. These Trent Owens and all the guys brought me a really good car.
How difficult is it to try to master this discipline in sprint?
Well, it's really tough, and thankfully I have a great teammate, Marcus Ambrose, and I got to look at a lot of his data last week at the test, and I really learned a lot. Just studying what he was doing and trying to pick up. I was a sponge for 2 days here, trying to learn everything I could, and so far it's paying off.
All right, good luck Sunday.
Thank you.
Matt, we're watching Jimmy Johnson. Trouble for Danica Patrick here in the closing moments.
Now
this final practice.
That has backup car written all over it. No question it will be a backup car, and we do have a red flag out on the course right now. She's already had an engine problem, and Phil, you mentioned it, that went from going from pretty much from 3rd back to 2nd on the upshift, which does not work, and now they're going to have to go to backup car, and she will get no time in that car until she qualifies tomorrow.
Yeah, NASCAR is going to call this the end of practice because obviously they have to put the red flag out because of Danica sitting over in the carousel. So with only a little bit less than 2 minutes to go on the clock, they're going to go ahead and call this one done.
And there were a lot of drivers that were heading down pit road. You can see the 10 team unloading a backup car that were going to try to make a run like Tony Stewart, Brad Keselowski, but to no avail.
Window nets down. That's a good sign. That means she's moving around, and the sign that she's okay.
It's like a pretty hard lick into that tire wall there.
Yeah, she'd run 18 laps in this practice session, but been looking for speed the entire day. She's sitting back there 36 quickest, but everything will start fresh now with a backup car. Phil, the car never turned coming out of the inner loop as it was entering turn 5. It just went straight.
Not sure what that issue was for her. There's another view as Jimmy Johnson rides by. But it certainly wasn't backwards or turned around. It was just going straight, like maybe the throttle hung or something as she was exiting the. You get back in the throttle right as you exit the bus stop down there, and it looks like maybe the throttle. But actually, the ECU is supposed to really recognize that when you put enough brake pressure, that should shut the throttle off. So, not really sure what happened there.
So she heads to the ambulance where she'll get the ride to the care center.
As Larry said, it's going to be a backup car, and you know the fortunate thing is she would be able to use that qualifying session somewhat as a practice session because that's going to be a new car to her. Although they won't be able to make very many changes other than what they would change on a normal pit stop. It wouldn't be a situation where she could change springs or anything like that, but yet it would be able for her to get a little bit used to that car.
If I was Tony Gibson, I know exactly what I would do. That first round is 30 minutes. The second round is 10 minutes. That's 40 minutes. I would not worry about qualifying. I wouldn't worry about tape. I'd have that thing in race trim and have her make some laps, if nothing else, to get her confidence back up.
Bob Dillner has more on Danica Patrick.
Crew Chief Tony Gibson, you see him there talking to the NASCAR officials, but the team did tell me a left front tire went down as she went in that part of the course, and that just lost control for her going into that corner, and that's why she wound up in the tire barrier. So a left front cut tire for Danica Patrick caused that.
Makes a lot more sense because the car never turned for her.
So tough set of circumstances for Tony Gibson and his team. We'll be back to wrap things up.
You do not want to miss what's next on America's Pregame. The one and only Charles Barkley joins the show to talk LeBron, Auburn, and SEC. With only 5 races to the chase, we'll head to Watkins Glen with a surprising dark horse. And we have a pair of NFL alumni getting you set for 6 huge preseason clashes tonight. All that and more next on America's Pregame.
Next Saturday, Vader, St. Pro. UFC Fight Night on Fox Sports 1.
From the moment Clifford Paul created the assist, his legacy lived on, both in his smile and in his style. From one generation to the next, State Farm agents never cease to assist you. That's getting to a better state.
So tell me about that AT&T Best Ever Family pricing thing.
It's 10 gigs of data to share with unlimited talk and text, and for a family of 4, that's $160 a month.
$160 a month? Sign us up.
Maybe we sign you up at the store after this.
Right, because this is the food court.
Yeah, it's the food court.
AT&T's Best Ever Family pricing. For instance, a family of 4 gets 10 gigs of data with unlimited talk and text for $160 a month.
2 men walked into a McDonald's and discovered an extraordinary burger with heaps of jalapenos, now for just $2. They also discovered the phenomenon of econom-nom-nomics.
Nom.
McDonald's dollar menu and more. It's econom-nom-nomical.
Away. Is the smell of salt in the air. It's the sound a seashell makes. Away is a place that's beyond your imagination, yet well within your means. Find your away. For a dealer in the RV that's right for you, visit GoRVing.com.
I began my racing career in my home country of Australia. I was having a great deal of success there, but I knew deep down that I had to come to America and challenge myself against the very best. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. But I'm here, I'm winning races, and I believe that's how you become the best.
Introducing BetAmerica.com, your new home for legal online wagering. It's time to play the BetAmerica way.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
So practice ends a couple minutes early due to tough break for Danica Patrick. Flat tire apparently sends her into the tire barrier. Heavy damage to that race car. They've already pulled the backup off the trailer in the garage area.
See, a nice thing about that is being one of among 4 teams, going to have a lot of help down there getting that car ready.
A.J. Allmendinger ran the fastest lap of the day, the 2 90-minute practices.
He was 3rd quickest on the 5-lap average. You saw Brad Keselowski back there in 20th, but he was the quickest as far as a 5-lap average of drivers that made 5 consecutive laps.
See Denny Hamlin all the way back in the 31st position.
Larry Brad Keselowski had the best 5-lap average.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick and then A.J. Allmendinger.
They will qualify tomorrow morning here at Watkins Glen International. We will go to Los Angeles for America's pregame. Our buddies Mike Hill and Molly McGrath right away.